Hi everybody, Garling with you today from down under in Australia. First time you're getting to hear my broad Aussie accent. I've got a little gift bag for you to make for Maja design using some of their beautiful papers. They're so lovely and thick and good quality. They're just perfect to make a little gift box like this. There is a template here. In just a moment you'll see. You have to start off with a 12-inch square piece of paper. The straight lines are all valley fold. All the diagonal folds are hilltop folds. There's also a template with all the measurements for the panel. Now, starting off, we've got the Vintage Basics. Vintage Basics 7th of April and Summer Basics 1903. So let's get started. Use my scoreboard here. Now I'm going to score this 12-inch square at 4-inch intervals. So 4 inches and then at 8 inches on both sides. Now I'm going to fold those in, sort of like a noughts and crosses thing. You can sort of see it there in the shadow. Now we have to do some diagonal lines on either side. This is what we're going to make. So there's diagonal lines on either side. That creates the gusset. Okay, now it is very hard to see on this heavily patterned paper, but I'm just doing it in pencil from that corner mark of my original grid and going out, and then this little section here is the actual gusset itself. Now I'm going to do this on both sides of my paper, so it's down both outer sides, and then I will fold those. I find it's easier to fold them manually than trying to do this section on my scoreboard. Okay, remembering the diagonal folds are all hilltop and the straight folds are valley. In other words, fold it in and fold it out. Okay, now we've scored it all, we've folded in. You'll find the first time you fold it, you sort of think, oh my goodness, where do these all go? But there you go, it all fits together nicely. And now I usually run over it with my bone folder just to reinforce all those score lines. And this will give the paper some memory so that when it's opened, it will spring back there now and it won't be so difficult. I've cut a nice little 4-inch panel here on a die, and I'm going to pop that in the middle there. Now you can either write a greeting on that or it just makes a nice insert. You can see here, I'm just showing you, I'm going to now cut the handbag flap. And for this one, I'm using the spotty paper, Vintage Spring Basics, 7th of April. And this panel needs to measure 6 3/4 inches long by 4 inches wide. And then I'm going to score it at 4 inches and 4.5 inches. Fold that there. And now I'll stick that onto my little handbag. First of all, I'm going to round that off with a corner rounder. Now I'll tape that onto the bag. So that'll create a contrasting back panel. It'll be the spine for the top of my bag, and it will also create the front panel. It'll all be obvious in a moment when you see where I stick it on. Okay, so see that? You've got nice little contrast flap. Now we need a handle for our handbag. Again, all these measurements are at the beginning of the video on those templates. The handle's 8 inches long by 1/2 inch wide. I'll stick that onto my bag. Actually, I've cut that a tad too wide, so I'll just slice a smidgen off that. That's better. So I'm sticking that to the spine of that flap that we cut before. There we go. We have our little bag now all ready to decorate. I often will put a glue dot or something to hold that shut. I did originally put a Velcro dot, but it just made it too hard and it ended up pulling off. A glue dot works fine. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out a sweet little bow using a die cut from the stripe paper, um, which is actually the back of the spotted one. It's the Vintage Spring Basics 7th of April. Now, I'm going to die cut a flower out of it too, and I'm layering some tulle netting in with the paper and running that through the die cut machine, and that will also cut out a tulle flower as well as my paper flowers, and I'll layer those up in between the paper ones. It just adds a little bit of fullness and it looks really pretty on your flower. Okay, so first up I think we might ink all those edges, gives them a little bit of definition. I'm just using a distress ink here. I think it was pumice stone, distress ink and pumice stone, if memory serves me well. It goes with this colour paper really well. Okay, so we're bending the loop of our bow. We'll stick that on there. Doesn't want to stay put. Okay, now we'll just put the centre around our bow and we'll let that dry for a minute or two before we stick it on our bag. How sweet is that little bow? And it looks so nice in that striped paper too. Okay, now we'll make our flower. I have some flower making tools, which is a really nice thick foam pad, and which is perfect for shaping your paper flower. I mean, nothing looks worse than a flat, boring flower. These little paper, little flower shaping tools just give it a little bit of volume. Now I'll layer it up and I'll put a little piece of that tulle netting in between the petals. It's really hard to see in a film and footage, video footage here, but in real life it does add a little something nice to your paper handmade flowers. When these are dry, I'll fluff them up with my hands. Okay, I'm going to add a couple of pearl stamens to the middle of the flower. I'm getting cold, I think. I've got a frog in my throat. Yeah, so we'll add a few little pearl stamens and that'll just add to the appearance of it. Sorry, I've got my dog in the background there and she's making noises in her sleep. Right, a little die cut flourish. Stick that on the front first. You can see the way the little bag is now holding its shape. You know, that the paper's creased enough that it's got a memory. Pop that little bow on. Oh, I do love that little bow in the stripe paper. I'm going to add some little cream roses. So I'm curling the wires to create some tendrils, and I'm doing the same. I've got some green velvet leaves there and I'm curling those wires as well, and that'll create some tendrils for those. I'll glue those onto the bottom panel of the bag. And that's all coming together nicely. Just a really nice way of making a personalised gift bag. A little bit difficult, really needs to be laid down flat, and I'm holding it upright. There you go. Now you can see there, I mean, that's a good little size. You can put, you know, a lot of various little gifts in that. I mean, here I'm just put my tape runner in there to give you an example. Yeah, so you could put, you know, lots of different things. And here you go, there's the finished item. with a side view. You can see all the pieces there. The Maja papers are perfect for a gift bag or a gift box because they are so nice and thick. Well, that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. There you can see the folds. Thanks very much for watching, and until next time,